Today, I'm assembling the ultimate pirate dream team for the Cross Guild. I'll be handpicking the absolute best warriors to join the crew. And by the end of the video, we'll be left with a group so overpowered that even Emu himself can't destroy. How did I do this, you might ask? Well, I went through every arc in the story and stumbled across a few characters that I believe will blow your mind. Stick till the end to find out the monsters I've chosen. Ready to absolutely annihilate any and everything in their paths? Let's get right into it. Now, we know Crocodile, Mihawk, and Buggy all have one thing in common. They were stripped of their titles as warlords after the world government replaced them with Dr. Vegapunk's latest creation, the Seraphim. With their wanted posters back on the walls and the Marines hunting them down, these three had nowhere to run. But hey, when life throws lemons at you, you make lemonade, right? Or in this case, they formed a pirate alliance so powerful, it'll make even the bravest buccaneers shiver in their timbers. And that's how the Cross Guild is born. This pirate crew works in a unique and somewhat chaotic way, with a rather interesting dynamic in its hierarchy. While Buggy might look like the boss, it's actually Crocodile and Mihawk who call the shots. You see, they both had the idea to form the alliance in the first place, but Buggy ended up Usopping by accident. His crew made posters showing him as the head honcho, and everyone ended up buying into it, even the Marines. Now, even though it may not seem like it, Buggy is seen as the real leader of the Cross Guild, with Crocodile and Mihawk pulling the strings from behind the scenes, like mafia bosses. But in this timeline, we've got a strict rule. Only the best of the best will get to join this crew. We're on the lookout for the sea's strongest and most capable warriors. It's for these reasons we're kicking out Buggy and his crew. Sorry, Oda. That means Moji, Richie, and Kabaji are out too. Moji fights with his pet lion, Richie. The two team up to fight, but always end up losing in the end, which isn't a good look for the guild. Buggy isn't very strong in fights either. As we all know, it's pure luck, and he's still alive since he mainly dodges attacks using his Bara Nomi while running away. So, he's considered one of the weaker members of the Cross Guild. Same thing goes for Kabaji. And because he's the most loyal in Buggy's crew, they made him the chief of staff. Talk about sad. That means all the lower ranked pirates respect him, but in terms of strength, Kabaji is just one of the weaker ones too. So, we all know the Cross Guild's main job is to hunt down Marines. How? Because they've already placed bounties on the heads of 6 of the strongest officers in the Navy. Poor Kobe got 5 stars, and he's not even a commander yet. This shows how the Cross Guild always stands on business. Crocodile's in charge of treasury and handles talks of conquest, while Mihawk, who's the best swordsman around, brings strength to the team. Buggy's crew are more like cabin boys who mop the deck and clean the towels when they're told. Right now, the Cross Guild doesn't have a ton of players. In fact, some people might even be calling their bluff. But watch how we fix that problem by the end of the video. And can you guess who we're picking up first? Don Quixote Doflamingo, the fallen celestial dragon, who's currently in a bit of a pickle. You see, Doflamingo, the former ruler of Dressrosa, got kicked out of power literally by Luffy, and now spends most of his days counting cockroaches in his jail cell. But now that he's locked up, you would figure there's no longer a future for him anymore in the main story, right? Wrong. That's where we come in. But there's a catch. Doflamingo might be crazy strong with his Ito Nomi, a devil fruit that allows him to control strings like a puppet master. But let's be honest here, the chances of him getting past all the security guards, clearing all 6 levels, as well as beating both Magellan and Hannibal are as slim as finding a needle in a haystack. But this is where things get interesting. Let's assume the Cross Guild storms into Impel Town, crashes the party, and frees Doflamingo from his cell. Suddenly, he's indebted to them in a big way. Think of it as a throwback to the good old Marineford days, but with a twist. Instead of Doflamingo offering Crocodile a gig, this time it's the Sandman, giving Doffy a chance to redeem himself as a member of one of the greatest pirate alliances ever. Imagine that. 2 former warlords with the power to take over kingdoms themselves, working towards a common goal. Seeing as Doffy was just going to rot in a jail cell for the rest of his life, I think he'd humbly accept the offer. The second person in my books will be Edward Weevil. Now, before you ask why, hear me out. His mother, Miss Buckingham, claims she was Whitebeard's mistress, and because of that, he goes by the name of Whitebeard Jr. While we don't know if any of this is true, what we do know is that Weevil is 680 centimeters tall, 14 centimeters taller than his supposed father, who is 666 centimeters. Weevil's also got blonde hair, just like Whitebeard used to have, and while he didn't necessarily inherit the best genes from his dad, you could blame his mom for that, he does have a good heart. Weevil really needs more support to keep his mother safe. Even though he's not the smartest, he is strong. Almost like a younger version of his pops. Recently, he was defending his father's home on Sphinx Island when Ryokigyu captured him. To stop a powerful pirate like him from causing trouble, he was taken to Impel Down. But considering Weevil's bravery on Sphinx Island, I'm sure Crocodile wouldn't mind busting him out too. Then, both mother and son could be safe in the Cross Guild. Let's also invite Boa Hancock to join the party. Now, I personally think that Boa needs to find strong allies to help protect Amazon Lily. You see, as an empress of the island and captain of the Kuja pirates, you can't just let anyone walk into your home and tell you what to do, especially the Navy. That's where we come in. Boa's got the kind of grit we're looking for. Come to think of it, the way she stood up to Blackbeard during his trespass on our home turf was pretty impressive, and she's shown a lot of skill in the past as well. As long as she doesn't turn any of our pirates into stone, I think she'd make a good fit. But wait, Hancock usually doesn't team up with other pirates. In fact, I think we'd have a hard time getting past her Kuja warriors who adore her. But seeing as Kobe was sent to capture her, and the only person who saved her was Rayleigh, I'd say she's all out of options. Don't worry, we'll be sure to throw in an all-you-can-see Luffy trip to help sweeten up the deal. Do you guys remember Gecko Moira, the weird shadow guy from Thriller Bark? Well, he's had it tough. And it doesn't help that the person who kicked his butt ended up becoming an emperor of the sea. And well, after that and getting messed up by Blackbeard, Moira's definitely been on a downward spiral. In fact, there's even people who think he's dead. Despite being introduced so early in the series, Gecko Moira is still relevant to the story. He went to Hachinosu to rescue Absalom, but got ambushed by the Blackbeard pirates, who took him captive. Luckily, he broke free and escaped when Kobe caused a commotion. He probably met up with Perona there too. Even though Moira didn't do too well in the story, I'm sure he still feels proud and doesn't want to just sit around while the world around him changes. Since it's too late to act with his own crew, it would be better for him to team up with his former Shichibukai and join the Cross Guild. Let's assume Moira hears in the news about this elite crew gaining respect on Karaibari Island, with Mihawk, of all people, at the helm. They're making a new name for themselves, and Moira figures, hey, that might just be my ticket out. By joining them, he could finally ditch the loser label and start afresh. Now, we know that Moira messed up big time in the past, but that doesn't mean he's useless. He's a master of shadows, and his devil fruit power is one of a kind. I mean, just think about it. The Cross Guild could use a spooky shadow expert like him on their team, right? So maybe Moira swallows his pride, learns from his mistakes, and joins forces with these goofballs. Next up is Bon Clay. Just the name brings a smile to any One Piece fan's face. This wacky character with the heart of gold has been a fan favorite since his introduction, and for good reason. We all remember him as a flamboyant villain working alongside Crocodile to take down Luffy in Alabasta. But Bon Clay is a rare breed. Suddenly, he became a villain at that point, changing his mind fast. It was just so hilarious and interesting. Who would forget his epic team up with Luffy to escape the Marines? The dude even sacrificed himself to ensure Luffy's freedom during the Impelled Down arc. That's some serious friendship right there. Ever since that emotional send-off, Bon Clay's been stuck in Impelled Down. But with the world turned upside down by the mysterious Cross Guild, things might just get interesting for our favorite Okama. While heading out with Mingo and Weevil, Mihawk and Crocodile notice a man with makeup crying in his cell. It can't be Ivankov because he escaped a while back, but after talking things out, the two decide to bust him out, and it looks like Bon Clay's got the Baroque Works band together. Though some might say he's playing all the instruments himself, thanks to that tricky devil fruit of his. Bon Clay might not be a powerhouse fighter, and that's never been his style. His true strength lies in his unwavering loyalty and his hilarious, and sometimes downright impressive, use of his devil fruit. Imagine the possibilities. The Mane Mane no Mi is a special kind of fruit, a paramecia type, which allows its user to copy the appearance of anyone they touch. This means they can look exactly like someone else, like a human mirror. With Crocodile and Mihawk at the helm of the Cross Guild, their targets can be anything, from the world government to rival pirate crews, infiltrating their ranks with his copy ability. And the funny thing is that Bon Clay could sow discord and gather intel that could be crucial for Luffy and his allies. But now, I think it's time we turn things up a notch. Even with all the friendships, bring in the big dogs. Enter Katakuri. As the second son of Charlotte Linlin and the strongest of the three sweet commanders, Katakuri is a must for the Cross Guild. Our boy gave Straw Hat a run for his money by holding him at a standstill for 21 episodes, creating the longest battle in the history of One Piece. No matter what Luffy tried to do, he could just knock it past the dreadful Mochi Mochi no Mi, which allows Katakuri to transform his body into Mochi at will. This, combined with his mastery of both Kenbun Shoku and Busa Shoku Haki, earned him the title of Monster. In fact, legend has it that he never lost a single battle in his life, until meeting Straw Hat. Fast forward to now, Big Mom was defeated in the land of Wano, and as a result, her pirate crew, including her 85 children, were disbanded. But where does that leave Katakuri? Well, one thing we might know for sure is that Kata loved his mom. You see, back at Whole Cake Island, when things were about to get really hectic, he leaped in front of Big Mom to protect her from harm's way. He even tried his best to protect her cherished portrait of Carmel. because he knew how much it meant to her. With his beloved mom gone, there's no way Katakuri isn't itching for revenge. In fact, I can bet you he throws darts at the faces of the two pirates who did this to her. And you guessed it, that's where we come in. You see, the Cross Guild could really use an assassin like Katakuri. He does what he's told and asks questions later. Speaking of sweet, that reminds me of another pirate who'd make a sweet addition to the team. And now, the self-proclaimed lightning god with ear lobules so long that you could play yo-yo with him. He's cool, fast, and powerful. But there's only one problem. He's kind of out of this world. You see, Anel has always believed he is some sort of god. So much so that he had the people of Skypiea worship him as such. It didn't help much that the Goro Goro no Mi made him practically invincible. But after he lost against Luffy, the god embarked on a journey to the moon and was never seen again. Maybe Fujitora could help send some asteroids his way to get his attention. But for now, let's put him down as TBD. Up next, we've got Vista. Come on, Oda. Bring Vista back and let him join the Cross Guild. If he doesn't, I'm adding him anyway. I want to include Vista because I believe he deserves more time on screen. Yes, simple as that. Vista was a great swordsman. He had a tough battle with Dracul Mihawk during the Marineford arc, and Mihawk praised his sword skills. Sadly, after Whitebeard passed away, Vista literally disappeared. No one knows where he is now, but if he ever shows up again, there's always room for him on Karai Bari Island. Now, I think our crew is about complete, but something feels a little fishy. We've got our navigator, shooter, and swordsman, but I just feel like there's still someone missing. You see, the Roger Pirates had a fisherman in Sunbelt, the Whitebeard Pirates had one in Namur, the Beast Pirates had one in Jack, and we now know the Straw Hats just got theirs in Jinbei. This means the Cross Guild needs to have a fisherman soon, or we'll be left behind. Enter Arlong the Saw, the infamous pirate who stirred up a lot of trouble in the East Blue. But whatever happened to him? Since he got released from Impel Down, Arlong said he's been laying low and staying away from trouble. Together with his buddy Chu, the two still spend their time away from humans. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Why Arlong and Chu? I mean, Chu's got a face only a mother can love, but hear me out. Other than Arlong, the only strong fishermen left are Hody Jones and Aladdin of the Sun Pirates. If you recall, Hody Jones got pummeled by Luffy and made an enemy out of King Neptune after word got out that he assassinated his wife. He is currently chained at the bottom of the sea in King's Royal Palace. Now, unless you plan on making an enemy out of every sea creature, I'd probably stay away from that idea. Aladdin, on the other hand, wouldn't be a wrong pick, but knowing his relationship with Jinbei and his deep respect for the late Captain Fisher Tiger, I believe no one stands a chance against the Cross Guild, and I'd sure like to see them try. But hey, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Did I overlook anyone? Let me know in the comments. Speaking of new pirates, remember when I said Chu had a face only a mother can love? Well, click this video to see what I have to say about the ugliest faces in One Piece.